But one of the things I would, because at the end of the day, for you to get to seeing the president, who promised, to help you get through, your hurdles, it'll take you forever to actually go and address that. The president has so many things, they're thinking about, talking about. So it's not a thing that you want to, really dwell on.
With,
So the same applies to ministers. They'll promise you heaven on earth. But they will not, So if we can look at, first of all, taking that more serious and let it be handled from a level that can support these innovators. Yes, they need the money. That is one.
Yes.
But again, one of the things that we do not now understand, that's why I said I really do not want to dwell on, more of the funding to, take this startup to, which level. There is one of the things that government could actually do to support these innovations.
What is that?
And that takes us to policies.
I see.
If we are looking at innovations in Uganda, and we have a lot that we can offer, why do we then allow for, all the time having, this company is going to, outsource this. We talk of, whichever kind of software that they tell you government is using, doing ABCD, it's either from the US or whichever place. Can't we begin thinking of local solutions? That would go way beyond, supporting the developers within the ecosystem and even the innovators. So I think there's a lot that can be done. Let's not think that all we want is money. We need a conducive environment for these guys to thrive. Without that, we cannot, we're not going to move anywhere.
You have spoken like a leader. yes. And Solomon, I'll be very honest with you. I think that could be a game changer, because if you think about policy, even when you're saying, if you graduate or maybe you're a graduate or whatever, you have started your business, can we have a policy that gives you a tax break? We have seen this work in different countries.
Thank you very much.
Can we offer you a diplomatic passport so that if you want to raise or you want to go and pitch your idea in another country, you don't struggle? Can we have a process whereby, in one or the other, maybe get these certificates of operations at a discount or at debt, right? So that you can pay later. In a way that you don't feel like I'll give an example for Kenya, right? For you to start just a small business like a barber shop, you need like 4 or 5 certificates or licenses to operate. And all these licenses you pay for, right? One for the county, another one for the government, another one for business registration. The place that you're operating in, you need to pay for it. You need maybe to design it to look a bit appealing. And that's just barbershop. By the time you're done just paying for all those things, and you have not bought the furniture and whatnot, you have spent double the amount that you need to open that business.
Can I tell you one interesting thing?
Yes.
Oh, there was a startup. Or there is a startup. They have now grown to some level. But where they started, it took them quite, the longest time for them to get, I think that was a license to operate. Good enough, we had the founder of this startup being, I think he has a dual citizenship. He decided to go and now he got frustrated in Uganda. But I wish this could actually be, heard by our leaders in Uganda. As I speak right now.
So should we go on Twitter Space or something? Well, it's too late for that, but don't worry. Next time we'll plan for that.
So we had this startup that tried and got frustrated in Uganda. And he knew that the only way for him. Now you go to the guys because you're talking about health. You're talking about health, but you're not given a go ahead. You need to be given license to actually do what you have to do And for that to happen, again, you need to be trusted. I would imagine that if some white from some country came and said, there is ABC, it wouldn't take them that long.
Yes.
So this guy, after getting frustrated in Uganda,
Yeah.
he decided to register this startup in Kenya. When he did that, that's how we got a way to
operate.
To operate.
Yeah.
Because he already had it.
Yes.
Another one said they went to one of the ministries. There was someone in charge. I don't quite remember quite well if it was a ministry, and he was told, for us we do not offer that kind of letter, and yet without that they wouldn't operate.
Yeah.
So where should that person go?
Yes.
So it takes you ages to achieve something.
Yeah.
So now I would say that is hindrance from the government.
Yes. It doesn't require money; it just requires policy change.
Thank you.
And an understanding that these are business that can actually grow.
Exactly.
In the worst case scenario, it fails, but give the person a chance to try it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that would actually be revenue for the government.
Yes.
But they do not see that.
Yes.
So we had a lot. I think in terms of government support, we are still lacking. And I don't want to say they are not interested in actually supporting.
Yeah.
But they do not know. They do not probably understand where to start from. They may not understand where to start from.
Are you saying the guys who are running this, they're not up to date with what is happening in tech?
They need to get to. I think if they befriended, let me give you an example.
Yes.
We have, I think, the National ICT Hub did not start so long ago. The preliminaries of what was happening, was in way back. I think that then I was working I was still without books.
Yes.
So government came and was looking for what's happening in the hubs. What is what can we do to support these innovators and all that.
Yeah.
And what they did was go around and they tried to understand what was happening in the hubs. One of the things they would have done was to begin channeling support to these hubs. Or partnerships.
Yeah.
Can we have partnerships with these hubs and begin supporting innovations within?
Yeah.
So one thing they did was, okay, boom, let's have an ICT hub.
It's called kiosk mentality. It's rampant in Africa, whereby you see someone selling eggs, you feel like, you know what? How do you sell it? How many eggs do you sell a day? This guy is making a good margin. Next to that kiosk, you open another egg kiosk.
Exactly.
Yes. So you made it right. So they could have actually partnered with the existing hubs.
Yes.
And then over time, if there's need and there's growth and there's need,
yes,
they open the hub.
Yeah, but I know, yes, they have. I don't want to simply talk about the negative. I believe, government has also, tried to support hubs when you look at, things, even things to do with, internet and stuff like that. They have really, they have put in there with something.
The core. So they have laid also the fiber optic cable.
Yes.
Things like that.
Exactly.
Maybe try to manage data bundle prices and all that. So of course there is all that. But what we are saying, we're not saying everything is bad, but of course we are saying it can improve. Because even when you think about Kenya,
it can do better.
It was not where it is 10, 15 years ago.
Yes.
It's just this kind of feedback, this kind of criticism, that positive criticism that actually has brought Kenya where it is. We are not there yet, I would not say that. There's a lot of work that needs to be done, to be honest. Being part of that ecosystem for some time. And I think anywhere in Africa, I will not say they are there yet. But if we put in work, actually when we can learn from the grown market, the market that are making moves across the world, and because not everything that they've done that is really positive, I would say, and do it the right way. So, Chief, you have been doing this for some time now, and I feel like there's a lot that needs to happen.
Yes.
Do you think private sector is playing its part properly?
I think so. I think so. They've really tried to, Now, when you look at the private sector, it's all about doing. It's about doing, and for you to earn a salary, you
have to
need
put in work.
Yes, you need to work. You need to work. I actually one time said, when it comes to working with government, it's not something I would really I would really admire.
Yeah.
What would bring me to government? I would be to help change things, turn things around.
Yeah.
But for you to have that, you must be at a level of authority.
Yes, yes.
You must have the authority to actually do that. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to be frustrated.
Yeah.
So the frustration is what I wouldn't want to see.
Yeah.
But private sector is doing its best.
Yeah.
Most of the events you see around, this has come up, guys, we have, say, these hackathons, people are building solutions, they are being supported by private sector in most cases.
Yeah.
So on their end, I think
they're doing the most.
They're doing their job, really.
So it's no longer selfish interest. They want to see the ecosystem grow.
So we used to have a lot of the selfish interest.
Yeah.
But along the way, and I cannot say they are no longer there.
Yes, yes.
Just like we said, with government, it's not totally the negative.
The negatives, yeah.
So again, in the private sector, of course, you'll find more of those that may still have the selfish tendency.
Yeah.
But along the way, people have realized that for you to actually move a pin, you need to work together.
True.
You need to work together and push, The end goal is for us to see this economy, or the country at another level. We need growth.
Yes, yes.
And even if, so when you look at what's happening, it's not going to be, the success of that is not going to be based on one individual. If you are going to have, say partnerships as private sector and, it's not about one individual. So you'll say, we were part of this, it's not about an individual. And I think it has changed over time. We can now see, co-founders of, several organizations, several hubs come together, on a round table to build something. That's what we are now seeing.
Impressive.
So it's no longer the thought of competition.
So people are breaking down the silos.
When I get to the startups and I'm talking to them, if they have to do a pitch, if it's pitching, they're simply talking about this is it's not the competition they talk about is not in a bad way.
Okay.
They are not in a bad way, and there are people who have actually come to consult. We are also trying to do a thing like this. How do you do it? So that's how we can move this.
Sorry guys, we just lost power for a bit, but we are back. So Solomon, you're talking about fundraising. Yes. Oh, guys, if you're listening to us, this is Impact Masters Podcast in collaboration with Africa's Talking Podcast, brought to you by me, Michael Kimathi, if you want, MK. Thank you so much. So you're talking about fundraising.
All right. So fundraising is one thing that would actually take us to, great heights.
Yeah.
But I do not see it happening in Uganda. Maybe because of mentality. Where someone may think, okay, you're coming up with this. They say when you come up with, if you come up with a product, it's really about you. Your first enemy is going to be yourself. Your second enemy is going to be, say, your family discouraging you. So and so tried this. It won't succeed. And they may not see that as something that can, yield fruits. So maybe we need to start trying a thing
Changing
like
the
that.
mentality.
Surely, if you ask me, why isn't it happening? Maybe my mind only goes to that.
Yeah.
But if I asked myself and said, I can actually, come up with a very good pitch and convince people that this is actually something that can happen.
Yeah.
People can give you money.
Yeah.
I'll give an example of a lady who started a business, one of the prominent, pastors around.
Yeah.
And the daughter simply started a boutique. And she brought people together at the launch of, whatever she was doing.
Yeah.
And people gave money. There are lots of money. Yeah. So I think, again, you need to be in a place, a good position for you to actually bring serious people around. Now, for example, that one, I would say the influence of the parents brought them to that place, where they would do the convincing for their daughter.
Yeah.
But I believe that's where...
So is this where connections count?
Yes.
Like you could, if your parent was doing really well.
Exactly.
Means that if they wanted, they could do a fundraising for you as a capital.
That's true.
Do you think if maybe people who are well off, say billionaires, millionaires, like I see Dangote has done this in Nigeria, where he has put $100 million that can go in any good startup across Africa. There's things like Y Combinator. And but there's some of the startups here have applied for that and have gone for it. Not only even in our borders, can we utilize some of these opportunities and also try to learn from the people who have gone through it?
Yeah, if you talk about, now there is fundraising. Now it will take us to two areas. There's that fundraising where you're looking at,
investment.
But there is also fundraising where you say, you guys, I'm doing this, please, can you support? Now,
does that work here?
The fundraising, that's why I was telling you, now I was actually basing on that one to tell you it would be something that is not what. But in terms of fundraising, where you're looking at the likes of the Dangotes you're talking about, now that's of course what happens. Now the challenge we have in Uganda is that we may not have so many of those people, but you also, now the ones that come around, of course, need a very good pitch for it to
to make sense.
For it to make sense. Yeah. And the biggest challenge we have with our startups is actually that area of pitching. Someone does not understand clearly what you're trying to do. And at the end of the day, it doesn't make sense. I will give you an example where we had someone come around and they were like, okay, there's a competition. Yeah. It was, that was, I think...
Is it Pivotist?
Must have... No, it wasn't Pivotist. This one was Startup Boot Camp.
It
was Startup Boot Camp.
Yeah, Startup Weekend or something. Yeah.
No, it was Startup Boot Camp. I think these guys also came from Nairobi. Okay. And we had a good time. These guys pitched, and one of the startups, I actually talked about him earlier on. They were building. So it was like a mobile wallet, but for health purposes. Yeah. So when they came around, after the judging, he went and asked the judges, why didn't I go through? So it was simply something that they did not understand what they were doing.
Okay.
So
but the problem, work?
They are making money right now.
Oh, okay.
They are making money.
Okay.
It made sense later on to people. I mean, when after refining and trying to understand how to. So while we are talking about innovations and all that, there are two very key things. If you mess up that, you're finished. Yeah. Stating your problem. And then the solution you have. Providing the solution.
And the solution is what people invest in.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you mess up, but you must have yes, there's investing in the solution, but you must have a very good problem for you to make the money.
I call it scalable problem.
Exactly. So if you do not have those clearly, you're out. So, and that was the only reason. So when he explained to these guys what exactly they were doing, they were like, "Oh my God, we didn't know, we didn't understand. You didn't explain clearly what you were doing."
Yeah,
and that's how you. And the judgment was already passed.
Oh, so they could not get the raise.
They couldn't get it. But later on, they got a lot of funding.
Okay.
They got a lot of funding from GIZ and several other companies. They eventually they went through Bank of Uganda. Now coming up. They got a partnership with MTN and all that. So they're doing very well now.
Okay. So it sounds like there are a couple of metrics or a couple of plays here. There's government policy, there's private sector, there's fundraising, there's a startup getting ready for all these processes. Would we conclude in this ecosystem, especially in Uganda, that it calls for all stakeholders, hands on deck, on the smallest part that they're playing, even innovation, like the hub that we're in, Innovation Village, coming into play in providing a space for these startups to grow. Maybe you might be charging for space. I don't know how the model works, but maybe out of 100%, you say 20% will for sure give promising startups, but of course that we know for sure maybe they cannot afford to pay for the space, but we can see the potential and we can coach them to get where they are. Because do you think that would be the model, so that I don't speak for you?
Yeah, but that's actually what the Innovation Village is doing.
Okay.
The Innovation Village is, if you ask me, I think the Innovation Village, of course, with also support from the support of the partners and all that, they have gone quite miles to support these guys. When you look at space, for example, now that speaks to every hub that you can think about. Hubs, the space that hubs provide would give you way cheaper pricing in terms of rent.
Yes,
that is not something you'll go and find out there.
Yes,
but that's what first of all, that's what a startup needs. You get rent. I mean, you pay for the space at a subsidized rate. Then you could also come and use the co-working space, and you have access to everything around every other benefit that you'd need in order to
talent, training,
to build
workshops.
Beyond that, if you look at some of the things now, there's what we call the 97 fund that the Innovation Village came up with. And if you look at 97 fund, the name 97 fund is coming from where you're looking at 100 people. 100 startups have come for hackathon. There is always that the winners. In most cases, they take 3.
It's a competition.
They always take 3 winners.
Okay.
What happens to the 97? What happens to the 97 teams? So
I see.
The Innovation Village says we have the 97 who did not win. And yet we actually have so many who have the potential to scale. And they could even be better than the 3 that won. Just like I told you earlier on. The best, the teams that win are not necessarily the best.
I agree with you.
But just because they did not pitch well. They did not give their best shot in terms of pitching. They end up among the 97. So the Innovation Village comes back to now say, we need to understand, from these guys, can we go through their applications? We understand the solutions that they've been trying to build. Can we take them on from there and give them from that 97 fund? Can we now give them, where to start? Beyond that, of course, connections to mentors and all that to now support in that area. So innovation village and other hubs. That's not what they're trying to,
Absolutely.
achieve.
So, as we come towards the end of this conversation, I see Startup Africa Roadtrip. Would you mind speaking a bit about it?
All right. So, Startup Africa Roadtrip, like you mentioned, it started in 2017.
Yeah.
And we're looking at, now we had a team of Italians who came up with this idea. Can we start a boot camp, to take innovators through a number of things?
Yeah.
Can we look at, can we look at all aspects that a startup would need?
Yes.
We take them through, give them skills in marketing, technology, design, and all that you can think about.
Yeah.
And, have them connected to the Italian, we connect them to the Italian ecosystem.
Yeah.
So what happens with a Startup Africa Roadtrip is that we have this team come and take the, of course, there's a process of applications and,
Yes.
all that.
Yes.
And then the winners, we usually look at the top 5.
Yeah.
The numbers keep varying when it comes to. we look at the
Quality
the
of the
different
solutions?
Yeah, the quality of the solutions, and also every year may come up with its own criteria.
Okay.
So those winners now, first of all, from the pool that are taken through a boot camp for say one week.
Yeah.
Usually happens for one week.
Yeah.
Now, these guys keep getting further training.
Yeah.
For now, the winners from that boot camp.
Yeah.
There's a first selection that may. If you have say 50 that applied. Yeah. We then say, okay, can we first select the first 30 who will go and pitch?
Yeah.
And then we take them through another training.
Yeah.
Then the winners do a final pitch, and they're taken to Italy.
Yes.
To meet more investors. So along the way, you've met experts, you've met several, people that can support you in your journey.
Yeah.
And then that network that is created does not end there.
Yeah.
Even after you've come back from Italy,
Yeah.
you still have connections to several other mentors.